You wanted to be in the video. Now you're gonna be. Hi friends, welcome back to our watercolor tip a day series. Today I'm going to show you one of the most magical little watercolor tricks. It almost kind of feels like cheating. So we are going to load up one brush with 2 colors and 1 stroke. Let me show you how to do it. The first thing that we want to make sure that we're doing is that we're activating our watercolor paint. So I just use a botanical mister. This is my favorite thing to use. You use whatever you have, a spray bottle, whatever works. And we're just going to make sure our paints are nice and wet, because this is how they're going to activate the color, and we need them to be super activated and wet to do this method. Starting with a round brush, you can load it a couple of different ways depending on your palette. If you're using pans, you could just press each side of your brush into a different pan, and if you've mixed your colors in a well, do the same thing. Just press one side in one color and then dip the other side into the second color. And then once it's loaded, we're just going to press it onto the paper in these simple leaf shapes. And look at that color variation. It's so beautiful and it's so effortless. It's so much fun. You can even play with the tip of the brush too. Sometimes I'll use a darker color on one side for the stem and a lighter on the other side just for the leaf. You just press it down, lift, and see what comes out, because honestly it's really hard to control what actually happens. And don't be shy about reloading your brush. You're gonna have to go back in several times to reload it, just like you would with any painting. And some fresh paint is going to make all the difference. You can also wiggle your brush a little as you press to get a softer, more organic edge. A lighter touch will give you those really beautiful, soft, transparent washes, and they feel really dreamy. And then you can always go back in and add your details once it's dried, and you can also drop in some color if you don't really like how it turned out. But don't be shy to experiment. Now I'm switching to another round brush, but this one's a little bouncier and it gives a slightly different feel. So I'm doing it the same way that we did the first time. I'm loading it half and half, one color on one side, another on the other. But now I'm going to fill up the entire brush with some green, and then I'm just going to dip the tip of the brush in paint, in this case red. And I think this is so cool because you can see as I drag down the leaf, it's almost making the center of that leaf with the red, and it's just really fun. And I like to also use that red on the tip to create the stem like I did there. You could use more red, less red, or whatever color you're using. Just have fun with this. There are definitely no rules. Now we are going to switch to another brush. I've got a lot of brushes to practice with. So we're going to switch into the Dagger brush. So this is a long dagger. Some people might call this a sword brush. But I'm filling this whole brush up with paint, and then I'm just dipping the tip. And then I'm creating this long line with just the tip. So I use like a blue-green, and all that paint that's in the brush comes out, and look at how gorgeous that is. You can even go crazy and add 3 colors, so you can fill the whole brush and then dip it in one color on like the full edge, and then just another color on the tip, and you can go crazy. But look at how expressive and just so stunning these leaf shapes are. One side always feels easier than the other for me, so don't worry if it feels awkward. Just keep experimenting. It does get easier the more you play. So I'm just like, if you feel that way, just go onto another piece of scrap paper and just keep practicing, because obviously you can tell one side was so difficult for me. You can also do this in these colors, like fall colors, and you can wiggle or slightly curve the stroke so you can mimic that natural leaf bend. See how hard that is? For me, my brain, it's just, some things just don't work for me, and that's fine. It's totally fine. You got to keep practicing. But anyway, this side looks nice. And if you miss a spot, it's okay, because you can just go back in with that tip or go back later. Now we're going to move on to a shorter dagger brush for a little bit more control, and we're loading it the same exact way. We're just doing the same exact thing, but you can see it's slightly different. So these are a little bit shorter and more controlled. So I'm not really dragging them and wiggling them on that side, but then you can see if I put it on this side and sort of wiggle them, you can see the difference. This is a little bit more loose and whimsical, and this side's a little bit more controlled. And if you want, you can flip the brush over, and you can use the back edge to pull out longer and more like rounder fern-like shapes, I guess you would call these. So it's all about experimenting and really getting a feel for the brush. So I'm just like going into different colors, loading them, and having fun experimenting, not thinking too much about it, because with this sort of technique, I mean, yeah, there are some people that can control them probably better than others, but you really can't control watercolor as much as you'd like to. You really can't. So now I'm just sort of playing. So I'm just making these weird shapes, and it's a lot of fun. You can pull them out, drag them. It takes a lot of wrist control, I guess you could say. But yeah. Now I wanted to show you, I didn't show you that you can use this long dagger to make these really fun wiggles, and then you could do the same thing with the shorter dagger. And then we've got our filbert brush. So you can fill this all the way up with a colored paint and then dip one side in pink and another side in purple, like I did here, any colors, and look at that. It's like magic. It's so pretty. You can also just dip the tip of it. It's totally up to you. And we can make flowers with petals that are all different colors, depending on what you dip your brush in. See that? It's just so much fun. And then I put a little bit more purple on with a little more pink. I'm just getting all these different colors in one stroke. Now I've got a fluffy brush, and you can use this to stipple. So I'm just tapping that brush in one color and then another, and I'm just using that to create the centers and make this really fun texture. So you see when I'm tapping it here, there's pink and purple and light pink, all different colors in just one tap. So much fun. Now for the last brush we're going to try today, this is a flat brush, and this is actually a flat shader brush, but you can use any flat brush. And I loaded it with one color on one side and another on the other side, and this creates this bold two-tone stroke. So we've got, it's like a stripe with two colors on two different sides and one stroke. And then I'm just going to flip it so that it matches, and look at that. It's so much fun. And then I added in some more color, and I kept what was in the brush, but I just added some bluish color, flipping it so it matches, and we got two tones there. You can also fill it up fully with one color and then just dip one corner or just dip the tip into something else. You can add a little bit more water to make it more translucent and layer it in other colors for that soft fade. And then when you're all done, once your leaves are dry and the petals are in place, you can go back in with a liner brush and add all your final details, your stems, your veins, or all those little center dots. So you really start to see the piece come alive. You can use these as a base and sort of make your leaves look folded with these lines. You can go over them again, or you can layer them and really have fun with this. And don't be stressed out if it feels tricky at first. All right, let me get my glasses off for this. So if you're getting stressed out and you don't think that you're doing a good job with these, just know that that is totally normal. Even me, I paint every day. I would consider myself intermediate to advanced watercolor artist, and I even do practice drills. I have scrap paper. I didn't just come here and make beautiful leaves just like that. So before I even filmed this, I practiced and practiced. I played with different brushes, different paint, different paper. It all goes together. So just try to be kind to yourself and try to enjoy the process rather than thinking that you're not good enough or you can't do it or it's too hard for you. Like, just keep practicing it and enjoy the process. Everyone's been there. This is totally normal. But if you are doing an amazing job and you're proud of yourself, I'm proud of you too. All right, well, I hope that you had fun exploring this two-color technique. There are so many ways to load your brush and get those magical blends. It just takes some play. But if you are enjoying these tips, don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's video, because we are diving into one of my favorite playful techniques. We're splattering. It's messy, but in the best way. Keep painting, and I will see you tomorrow.